Bangladesh, crisscrossed by rivers, is no stranger to floods. But the recent deluge from heavy monsoon rains has been devastating. Homes, businesses and farmland are underwater. Entire villages are swallowed, leaving destruction. Sylhet and Sunamganj are hit hard. Picturesque landscapes now resemble inland seas. Roads are washed away, cutting off supplies. Communication lines are down, isolating communities. The scale of the disaster is staggering. Millions are impacted, losing homes and livelihoods. The human toll of this disaster is immeasurable. Millions have been displaced, forced to flee their homes. Faces etched with worry and despair paint a poignant picture. These shelters are ill-equipped to handle the influx. Basic necessities like clean water, food and sanitation are in short supply. The risk of disease outbreaks looms large.
The floods have claimed lives and livelihoods. Crops are destroyed, livestock lost, and fields lie submerged under muddy water. The agricultural sector has been dealt a severe blow.
The situation is dire. We are doing everything we can to provide relief, but the scale of the disaster is overwhelming. We need more support to address this crisis effectively.
The floods have struck Bangladesh at a time of political transition. The recent ousting of longtime Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina after mass protests has left a void in leadership. The interim government, led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, faces the daunting task of managing this crisis while navigating a volatile political landscape.
The situation is further complicated by allegations of corruption and slow response times. Protests have erupted in some areas, with citizens expressing frustration over the government's handling of the disaster. The floods have exposed the fragility of Bangladesh's disaster preparedness and response mechanisms, highlighting the need for urgent reform.
The international community has pledged support, but questions remain about the effective utilization of aid. Ensuring transparency and accountability in the distribution of resources will be crucial to alleviate the suffering of those most affected by the floods. Bangladesh is not alone in its struggle. Neighbouring India is also grappling with the fury of the monsoon. The northeastern state of Assam has been particularly hard hit, with widespread flooding causing significant damage and displacement. The shared Brahmaputra River, which flows through both countries, has swelled to dangerous levels, inundating villages and towns along its banks. The floods have disrupted transportation links between India and Bangladesh, further hindering relief efforts. While both nations battle the deluge, accusations have surfaced regarding India's management of upstream dams. Some in Bangladesh allege that the sudden release of water from dams in India has exacerbated the flooding downstream. This blame game underscores the complex geopolitical realities surrounding transboundary water resources and the need for greater cooperation.
The government of India remains committed to working with Bangladesh to address these challenges. We must focus on collaborative solutions rather than unfounded accusations.
The devastating floods in Bangladesh are a stark reminder of the growing threat of climate change. As global temperatures rise, extreme weather events like these are becoming more frequent and intense. Bangladesh, a low-lying delta nation, is particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Rising sea levels threaten to inundate coastal areas, displacing millions. Increased rainfall and more frequent cyclones pose a constant threat to lives and livelihoods. The floods serve as a wake-up call for the world. Addressing climate change is no longer a choice but an imperative. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions and investing in climate adaptation measures are crucial to averting future catastrophes. The floods in Bangladesh are not simply a national crisis. They are a stark reminder of our interconnectedness in the face of a global challenge. International cooperation is not an option but a necessity. Developed nations, historically the largest emitters of greenhouse gases, have a moral responsibility to assist vulnerable countries like Bangladesh in adapting to the impacts of climate change. This includes providing financial and technical assistance, sharing knowledge and technology, and supporting capacity-building initiatives. Regional cooperation between India and Bangladesh is also crucial. Joint efforts are needed to improve early warning systems, coordinate disaster response, and manage transboundary water resources more effectively. Open dialogue and mutual understanding are essential to building resilience against future climate-related disasters.
We must come together, transcending borders and political differences, to safeguard our planet and its people. The time for action is now.